Hello, Marcia.
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, Marcia Grifiths was born 23rd November 1949. She is a Jamaican singer, and one reviewer described her by noting that she is known primarily for her strong, smooth as mouse love songs and captivating live performances. You know, I watched one of your videos and I was like awed. I was like thrilled. I was like, hey, where is the energy coming from? Where do you get your energy from, Marcia, when you perform?
Well, I don't know, it's like, I would say no matter what's happening backstage, as soon as I hit the stage, it's like something just turns on and I just come alive. And this is the reason why I am so sad with all what's going on in the world today, that we cannot be with our audience live and direct to get that energy and that connection and that positive vibration. Because once you hit the stage and you hear your audience, you just come alive instantly. So I don't know, I can just say it's that energy from my audience that always just turn me on immediately as soon as I hit the stage. No matter what, no matter how low I'm feeling, once I hit the stage, everything just, changes immediately.
Now let's look at, Jamaica today, the world today. Let's take you back a bit. I know that there are about 3 stages of your life, but let's look at the first stage before you go into music at all. As a little girl, and you had to, let me even start by asking, was there music in your family? Was that music?
My father, he was not a professional singer, but he was a very good singer. And all my other sisters, I have 2 other sisters that sings very, very well. But of course, they were very shy. So they didn't want to come in into the public. Even myself, I don't know how I managed to get here because I'm also a very shy, withdrawn person. So, but I guess it was ordained. I guess this was ordained by
destiny.
Almighty God.
Providence, destiny. Okay. Now, how did you break the news to your family that you wanna sing? How did they receive that? Especially your dad and your mom.
No, it wasn't about breaking the news because my parents were very, very strict, especially my father. But it was one evening, early evening, that I was singing with one guy was living in the same yard that we were. He had a guitar and he used to play that guitar. And he wrote a song called Wall of Love. And even at that young stage, I used to love harmonizing everything. No matter how many harmonies I hear playing on a song, I would find an additional harmony. So I started harmonizing his song, and I knew it from top to bottom. So Philip James was a member of the famous Blues Busters in Jamaica. So he was visiting his girlfriend and he heard me sing in the night. So when he heard me, he said, wow, this little girl have to go on Easter Monday morning concert. So I was on the age that I was like 12 years old. So my father, after insisting that I performed on that concert Easter Monday morning, my father accompanied me to the stage show that early morning. Every Easter Monday, they would have concert, and this is one of our biggest theater in Kingston, Jamaica, Carib Theater. So that's where I went, and I sang one song, No Time to Lose, because of course, in Jamaica, we were influenced by American music. So some of this, the artists that inspired me was Aretha Franklin, Patti LaBelle, Carla Thomas. So I did one of Carla Thomas' songs, No Time to Lose, just one song. And my father came and he was very proud when I did that one song. The audience was just, it was overwhelming that morning. And the rest is history. 57 years after that, I'm here. Thank God, you know, for that journey that I've been traveling on until this day.
Now, let's get to the second stage. How did you and Baron Lee and the Dragonaires, you know, start? I mean, you performed on stage with him. How was it like? And then you moved from there to the group I3s. Tell me about that experience.
No, well, I eventually became a vocalist for the band, for Baron Lee and the Dragonaires band. I used to travel, you know, extensively in the island of Jamaica, performing on all the shows that he was doing. Myself and Hortense Ellis, she was the other female singer in Jamaica. So it was not, I was taken to Studio One on this very same day that I performed at the Carib Theatre. So it was not until 1974. When I went to Studio One, I met Bob Marley and the Wailers, Ken Booth, Delroy Wilson. It was an experience for me going there, meeting all these icons. And I was just a little newcomer coming in the business. So when I saw Bob Marley, we had no vision what would have developed along the way. So it was not until 1974 that Peter, Bonnie, and Bob, who are the original Wailers, they had a fallout. And at that particular time was when Rita, Judy, and myself came together, forming this group. I invited them to sing some harmonies for me while I was doing some solo performances. So that's how the group started. You know, the audience loved it because we did a little jam on the third night of my performance, and they encouraged us to form a group. And I said, why not? And I said, let's call ourselves I3. And Sister Rita said, I3. And I said, yes, it's like saying we three. But instead of saying we three, we say I3. So Bob heard that we had formed the group. And as I said, he had a fallout with the original Wailer. So he invited us right away to come in the studio to do Natty Dread. We went in and we did Natty Dread. And that was a #1 song. Then after the passing of His Majesty, Bob recorded Jaliv. We went back in the studio and we did Jaliv, another #1 song. And of course, the rest is history. We became his Three Little Birds, recording and traveling worldwide to the 4 corners of the earth. And that's one of the major parts of my journey that I'm truly thankful for.
I love that you said Three Little Birds, but do you remember, can you recall when you did a song titled Feel Like Jumping?
Yeah, that was in the stables of the Studio One, 1967.
Yeah. Yes.
That was my first hit song.
Great song.
Because I should mention here that at no time I have ever relinquished my solo career. I started as a solo singer. I was never in a group. And even when I came in, you know, started the group I3, I maintained my solo career. Even if I'm out there with a Bob and Marcia or an I3, I maintained my solo career.
Marcia, how soon can we get another project from you? When is your next set of songs coming out?
Well, I will get your contact, and I have so much things I can send you right now. But you would have been the first one to get it. It's coming out in another couple of weeks, but I'll send it to you first. You will be the first to play that.
Oh, that'll
be great.
That's great.
That's nice.
Love that. All right. If you have questions, I think there is. Looking so beautiful as always. How have you been? How have you kept this despite all the life challenges? That's a good question.
What is it?
The person is asking that you're looking beautiful as always, but how have you kept it together despite all of the COVID and all of the challenges? You're still looking radiant.
Well, over the years, that's one of the main questions that I've been asked everywhere I go. But all I can say is whatever they are seeing, it must be from the reflection from what is within. Because it's not about what we wear or what we, maybe what we eat is vital, but it's all about your livity and your thoughts. And if you try to make your thoughts and your livity clean, it will reflect on the outside.
Well,
and I think that's what it is, and God has been really good to me to preserve me, and maintain me. But I still have to look on my fans, which have now become my family. What would I be without my fans who have been supporting me over the 57 years? I am truly thankful. I love them so much. They are the ones who give me that energy and that positive vibration. Even speaking to you right now, all these sisters and the brothers that I've spoken to on this short program, it's just such a wonderful motivation. It's like a rejuvenation to hear, it's a strength for me. And I look for that even when I go on stage, as I said earlier, no matter what's going on, the energy and that positive vibration from my fans and the love they give to me, which is priceless. It is just so wonderful, Touching souls is not something that is very ordinary. And I know that the music can touch your soul, which no doctor in the universe can do.
True. And
so I would just like to continue to touch souls all over the world and to teach and educate and uplift mankind through my music.
True. And then there's something else you've done. You have been like a bridge between the old and the new. I mean, looking at what you did, you've done things with Eric Clapton, you've done things with Gwen Stefani, you've done things with quite a number of people. I mean, and it also shows the kind of heart that you have. You have a heart, you can, a whole lot of people post you and can connect with it.
One of the best accomplishments for me today is to cut across age barrier. Because I can relate to, well, you know what? I have been on stage up until this day with 3 generations. I was there with Bob Marley. I was there with all his children, Ziggy, Steve, Damian, name them. And when I go on stage right now with Skip Marley, who is Bob Marley's grandson, we perform on stage a couple of times singing one of Bob's songs. I really have to give God thanks that I have seen 3 generations in my lifetime and performed with them. So that's a great accomplishment.
Nice.
And to cut across age barrier is one of the greatest things. It's just like I have done 50 collaborations so far with 50 of the best singers and DJs. Up until when you mentioned earlier about the collabs that I've done, I've gone 50 collaborations right now.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
I just did another one with Leroy Siblings, so that's 51.
Wow.
Nice. All right. Mark, another question. What has been your most inspiring performances till date?
Oh, no, that's not an easy question. Listen, I have done so many performances over, 57 years is not
it's not 57 days. Yeah.
And I have done a lot of performances with Bob Marley that I'll never forget. They are so memorable to, walking out on the stage and seeing a multitude of people come to hear this one man. And when you look in the front of the stage, you see like 10, 20,000 paraplegics in wheelchair. They don't speak English, but they know that this man come with a message, a positive message. And they just come, everyone is just there to see and hear what this man has to say. And these are some moments that I will never forget. And those are moments with Bob. But I've had moments on my own, performing different parts in the world, and I see young children, 13-year-old boy came backstage with maybe 10 of my albums, and he came there with them for me to sign them. And I'm saying, how did you come by these albums? They're vinyls. And he said his parents, he grew up in a house where his parents played those songs. Whoa. And the little boy looked, when I signed those vinyls for the little boy, he said to me, this is the happiest day of my life. And let me tell you, those words from that 13-year-old boy, it just changed my life. He would never imagine what he did for me when he said that, because this is a kid. But because of the household that he came from, he was privileged, you know, to get the opportunity to listen to some good music, you know, not just mine. I'm sure his parents played a lot of other, you know, positive, good music in the household. So it was something that is so memorable for me, you know, and that those are just few moments that I really will never forget.
Okay, but I also do know, Marcia, I would let you go, but I also do know that, yes, we've looked at all the good parts. Yes, you've done this, you've done that. But I also know that it wasn't on a roller coaster of, I mean, you would have faced some challenges. Can you share one of those experiences? Not too good, but something to inspire somebody. Because there will be young ones listening to you right now. They want to be like Marcia Grifiths, but they also need to understand that, look, it's not all rosy. There are times when things happen.
Well, I would never compare the days when I started to now, because
true.
I have inspired maybe 95% of the women in the business today in Jamaica. And it's a wonderful feeling when I hear them say that I was their inspiration or their role model. But let me tell you, when I was coming in my days, it was never easy because it was male dominated.
True.
Totally male dominated.
True.
Because you know, as a young girl coming into a male dominated business, you're vulnerable, and these are all male musicians and artists.
And
so
most of them are even older than you then. They were older than you then.
Everyone. No, I was just talking about that not too long ago, because this morning Lee Scratch Perry died. And I was saying, I remember when I went to Studio One, I was just 12 years old, going 13, and he was a grown man at the studio. So they were all adults for me. I was a little girl. My father was there with me everywhere I go. So because you're coming in a male-dominated business as a young girl, and you're exposed to all these men. I remember going to Clarendon, somewhere in the country, to perform with the Scatterlights band. And of course, God was good. And he had a plan for me. And I guess that's why I met Bob Andy. We became close friends. So he would travel with me everywhere, you know, I go to perform in the country. And the musicians never liked the idea that he was there, because they, of course, I think they wanted to do, you know, whatever they wanted to do with me. And I was left in the country on the sidewalk 13 years. At that time, I was like about 14. I was left on the sidewalk with Bob Andy and one of the guys who packed the instruments up. And one of the musicians, I would never call his name, he said that he's only responsible for singer, not singer and boyfriend. Ooh. And this is an elderly man that has kids. Ooh. At the time, I think he had 2 children at that time, because he's an elderly person. And they drove away and leave me, a little girl, on the countryside there, and came back into Kingston. And we had to hitch a ride with cars to get in. I couldn't even tell my father what went on. But, you know, these are some of the few things that, you know, going through the beginning of the journey that you experience from musicians, you know, and being in a male-dominated business. And, you know, one of the things I'm glad for today is that the women in the business right now, They are strong and firm, even though I encourage everyone to have good managers who can represent them, because you gain more respect when you have someone representing you,
managing you.
These are some strong women who can do it on their own. I mean, people like Queen Ifrika, Tanya Stevens, Etana, all of these girls, and I have a good relationship with everyone, so I share a lot of the experiences that I've had on my journey coming up. So I just try to put them on the right road, that some of the holes that I fell in then, they would know what to expect in this business, because it never changes, you know?
Great. All right, Marcia Grifiths, I want to thank you so very much. We did say that whoever joins us on using the Instagram will get a prize. And the first person to join is Kelechi Onyeko. And for doing that, we're giving you 5 different books. We're giving you 5 different books,
Wow.
5 different authors.
Wow.
We're giving you
Wow.
2 movie tickets to go see any movie of your choice.
Wow.
We're also giving you 1 bottle of perfume, designer perfume, 100 ml.
Wow.
All right. And in addition to that, we're giving you a Hypno Nation t-shirt. A Hypno.
Wow.
Congratulations.
Yes.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
And
All this
yeah.
for speaking to Marcia. I love you, Mama. I love you.
I love
Benj.
you more.
I love Classic FM.
All right.
Thank
and
you.
I mean, we can't just give, I mean, that's a lady. We should give a man. The first male to join us is Victor Femi Fred. And for that reason, we're giving you 1 Hypno Nation t-shirt, designer t-shirt from Hypno Nation. All right, Victor.
Yippee!
Yes.
I love you, Marcia.
Congratulations. Congrats.
All right,
Thank you, Marcia.
Marcia,
Yeah.
we love you in this country. We want you to come and perform. But we'll talk about that in a bit. Okay? But quickly, before we go, what inspires your lyrics? What inspires your message?
Yes.
What is what?
What inspires your lyrics, the way you write, and what inspires your message, your music?
It's mostly from experience, because sometimes we hear a song and we feel as if the singer is speaking directly to us because it can't fit us. It's only because we are one people and we have the similar experience in life, no matter where in the world we are. We are one family. We are one blood. So the things that inspires me most when I sit to write a song is my experience. And maybe my experience relates to so many other sisters.
True.
You know, because these are things that we go through in our day-to-day life. Whether it's hurting from family or personal, or it's a international issue or whatever it is, you know, we know that the most important thing in the music is always the message, because God calls upon the singers and players of instruments only because we are the ones who can unite the world through the medium of the music by sending the good message. And that's the reason why Bob Marley's songs are now relevant even in this time that we are living in.
True.
We can relate to every song that Bob sings like 20, 30 years ago. Because they are all being manifested. They are being manifested in this time today. So we want to maintain sending out truth and reality to mankind, to teach and educate and uplift them. It's only the music that we have, and that's our greatest weapon. So I will just continue to use that weapon.
I agree.
Yes, to unite the world, you know, and to educate. And as long as we are sending truth, you know, we don't have any time today to sing about your eyes blue like the ocean and I love you and I, you know, that those are folly. This is we are living in a serious time, and the music is our only vehicle that we have to use to get our message across to the people. So that is most important for me.
All right, Marcia, thank you so very much. We love you. We love you. I want everybody to say we love you. Yes.
We love you.
We love you.
I love you.
Marcia.
We love you.
We love
you.
Bless you so much.
Thank you
In
so very
every
much.
language.
Okay.
Love you. Benj.
All right. We'll
In
be
every
ending with this
language,
song.
I love you.
Yes. But Marcia, hold on for a bit. We'll be taking our song, and this would end the show. And thank you so very much. This is Electric Slide, Classic FM 973.